And let's just settle into our meditation posture. So the thing we're trying to do here before we meditate is just draw ourselves inwards energetically and also physically. The way we are positioning our body is allowing us for energetically to allow us to meditate a little bit more easily. Like if we were lying on a bed, we would be falling asleep. For some of you, it's quite late. If we were kind of lounging around on a chair, it wouldn't really be that conducive. So, the meditators have found, keeping the shoulders aligned with the hips and the spine long. And for those of us who are sitting at a desk in front of a computer, having the feet flat on the floor and the legs parallel, maybe about a hip's width apart, just quite conducive to allowing us to go inward energetically. So our physical is supporting us energetically, and then mentally we're going inside. We're reviewing our day and doing a little bit of work on ourselves, a little bit of inquiry. Okay. Okay, so just settle and bring your awareness to the crown of the head. And just relax the scalp and the forehead, the eyes, the nose, the cheeks, the mouth, the back of the head, the neck, the ears. Allow your shoulders and your shoulder blades just to drop down. Relax the throat and the chest and the belly and all of your limbs. Take a nice deep breath. And just notice if there are any sounds in your environment, just to allow those sounds to be there, trying not to follow with the mind. And then notice the thoughts that are arising in the mind. And so just allow those thoughts to arise and to abide. And if you wish, you can categorize those thoughts. Perhaps you can say, I'm thinking, or I'm planning, or I'm ruminating, or I'm having anxious thoughts right now. And then just allow those thoughts. Try not to judge them or continue that story. You can just put your little categories on a white fluffy cloud or a beautiful white lotus, or you can even put them inside a helium balloon, maybe right on the outside of the balloon. I was just planning thoughts, and just let it go. Allow it to float off. And then let's put ourselves on the bank of our river and just watch it flow on by, and just notice the quality of that river. The quality of the water. Is it clear? Is it rough? Is it muddy? How is it appearing to you this evening? Is it different to yesterday? And then just notice that while you're sitting on the bank of this river, you're free from that river. And then let's just bring to mind all the people of our life. So these folks that we have in our life that we just are so close to. They have such a profound impact on our life. And they're very dear to us. And then we have those people in our life we don't feel quite so comfortable with. We're not really liking them so much. And then there's our strangers. And given the environment we live in, this samsaric world we live in, this world of impermanence, all these relationships can change place at any time. And it's always good to remember that, because while we're thinking right now that our loved ones we're ascribing all kinds of positive qualities to them and all kinds of negative qualities to the ones we don't love so much. And that could change. And then remember, all these people are equal in their wish to be happy and their wish to be free from suffering, and in having this incredible capacity for an enlightened mind. So think there is no negativity that cannot be purified. And this purification process is basically a psychological one. And we create negativity with our mind, so we can equally change that by creating positivity instead. So we start with the power of regret. So sincerely regret from the depths of your heart anything you have done to harm any living being on this day, in this life, and in all of our past lives. And think of specific actions of both your body and your speech, and then in general, regret all. And the reason we're regretting is based on this logic of karma. We experience everything due to our past karma, our past actions. So having harmed others, we ourselves will experience suffering in the future. We cannot bear the thought of any future suffering that we ourselves will experience. We know from our present suffering we don't want any more. So logically, it makes sense to remove these karmic seeds before they ripen as future suffering for us. So think like this: I regret from the depths of my heart having harmed others with my body and my speech, having broken my vows, because I do not want the future suffering. I'm sick of suffering. And also regret any anger, attachment, and the rest that are the cause of why we harm others. And think again, I'm sick of this suffering. And then think, what can I do about it? Whom can I turn to? So here we come to the power of reliance. So we turn to the Buddha, Vajrasattva. And we're not looking for a higher power. We're not looking for someone to save us. We're doing the work ourselves. In fact, a lot more effective in the long run this way. So here we have our beautiful tanka, Vajrasattva tanka. So just imagine something similar to this image above the crown of your head, but made of light, not made of paint and canvas. So there we are, Vajrasattva, a couple of inches above the crown of your head. You can also imagine this is your teacher manifesting in this form for your benefit. He's made of, again, radiant, blissful, white light, sitting cross-legged on a white lotus and a moon cushion. And this lotus, although born out of mud, is untainted by that mud. And he has this radiant, beautiful face. His eyes are long and peaceful and full of love and compassion for you and all those people of your life. He has a sweet red mouth. His hair is black and held up in a top knot. His arms are crossed at his heart, the left underneath the right. The left is holding a bell representing wisdom, and the right is holding Vajra. And this represents the indestructibility of compassion. And their being crossed represents the union of these two. And this symbolizes enlightenment itself, the development of infinite wisdom and infinite compassion. To the Buddha, the Dhamma, and the Sangha, I go for refuge until I'm enlightened. By this practice of meditating on Guru Vajrasattva, may I reach Buddhahood so as to benefit all sentient beings. So in order to develop compassion, this is part of reliance, we need to rely upon other beings, so the very beings we have harmed and those who have harmed us, by developing compassion for them. So think particularly of maybe someone you may have harmed recently, and in the past, and then in general, all beings we have ever harmed since beginningless time. Then remember those who have harmed you, and we can have compassion for them because they will suffer as a result of the harm they've done to you. So make make a strong aspiration to do this practice of purification for the sake of all these beings, and think I must purify for their sake. So now we come to the power of the remedy, and this is the actual medicine doing the practice of purification. And we start with the body, and imagine Vajrasattva very compassionately sending white nectar, like coming out of a hose, quite forcefully from his heart, and it arcs around and enters your crown and pours into your entire body, filling you completely. And it keeps pouring into you until it forces out of your lower orifices all the harm you've ever done to any living being with your body in the form of inky liquid. And this pours out of you and disappears into space, not one atom left, as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe. So then be delighted that all the harm you've ever done to any sentient being with your body is now completely purified, and think there's no way you could do anything but benefit others now with your body. So next is a purification of our speech. And Vajrasattva very happily sends powerful nectar from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and forcefully enters your crown and fills your entire body. Except this time forcing up to the top of your body all the negativity of your speech, which overflows and disappears into space, not one atom left. So just imagine all the gossip and the harsh speech and the useless speech and lying and talking badly about others behind their backs and getting other people to agree with you, all our inappropriate speech, all this is purified by this powerful nectar filling you as we recite the mantra. Om Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida Meboa Sutokaya Meboa Supokaya Meboa Anarakta Meboa Sawasedi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ha Ho Bhagavan Sawa Tatagata Vajramame Mutta Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hom Pe Vajrasattva Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasattva Dina Patita Dida me boa, Sitokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida me boa, Sitokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida me boa, Sitokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Ambajasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida me boa, Sitokaya me boa, Sipokaya me boa, Anurakta me boa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. And now feel so happy that your speech is completely purified. And just imagine it's not possible to do anything but benefit others now with your speech. That is including yourself. And now is the purification of the mind. And Vajrasattva very compassionately sends powerful beams of light from his heart chakra, and this arcs around and enters your crown and fills your entire being. So the same as when you walk into a pitch black room and you just flick on that switch, that instantly dispels the darkness, that light. So the same here. Vajrasattva sends light from his heart. It hits your heart chakra, and immediately all the darkness of the negativity of your mind, so attachment, depression, bitterness, grudges, anxiety, jealousy, disappointments, all of this instantly dispelled. Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta Meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida Meboa, Sitokaya Meboa, Sipokaya Meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe, Vajrasapa Samaya Manupalaya Vajrasapa Dina Patita, Dida meboa, Sitokaya meboa, Sipokaya meboa, Anurakta meboa, Sawasidi Mimpi Yatsa Sawa Kama Sita Me, Sitam Shriyam Kuru Hum Ha Ho Bhagawan, Sawa Tata Gata Vajramami Mutsa Vajrabawa Mahasamaya Sata A Hum Pe. So be delighted. All your delusions, which are the source of all of our own suffering, the cause of why we harm others with our body and our speech, are completely purified. And think now there's no space in your heart for anything other than love and kindness and forgiveness and wisdom and bliss and compassion. So next is the purification of even the imprints of negativity of the body, speech, and mind. So imagine Vajrasattva sends light and nectar. It fills you completely and eradicates even the subtlest imprints of negative energy from the mind. So it's like you've removed the garlic from a jar. You still need to wash it out to get rid of the smell. So it's more of an energetic thing here. It's just these very, very subtle imprints. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa anarakta meboa sawasedi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sedi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sedi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sedi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sedi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. Vajrasattva samaya manupalaya Vajrasattva dina patita dida meboa sitokaya meboa sipokaya meboa Anarakta meboa sawa sedi mempiyata sawa kama sita me sitam shriyam kuru hum ha 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 ho bhagavan sawa tatagata vajramami mutta vajrabawa mahasamaya sata a hum pe. So now feel completely purified. There's not one atom of negativity left in your mind stream. Even the subtlest obscurations to your enlightenment have been removed. So now we come to the power of resolve, and we have a little bit of time so we can do some meditation with this. So this purification process, this end bit here, this section on resolve is really crucial, because really practically without any decision to do anything, nothing's going to happen. Nothing's going to happen unless we decide it will. So this determination to not harm with our body, our speech, and our mind, or to refrain from harming with our body and speech and our mind, we're not going to do that unless we decide that that's what we want. So just imagine, first of all, rejoice in your efforts for some of the progress that you've been making. For some of you, it's now over 2 years. So notice the changes in your life and rejoice. Maybe this practice has brought you more stability. So just notice the areas in which your life are changing. And this is the work that you've been doing yourself. So I just notice. And then think of something that you'd like to work on, that you have been maybe working on, and give yourself a reasonable timeline. You know, if you can only manage 20 seconds of internal introspection or this internal inquiry, then that's all you need to do. So don't make it like, oh, I'm going to do this for half an hour, or I'm going to do this for 2 weeks, or I'm going to do this for a year, because guaranteed it might not work that way. Start with a simple, easy, doable timeline. And just note this determination to not do again or to refrain from doing. This gives us some kind of strength to change. So imagine Vajrasattva's delighted with us, wanting to merge with your mind, melts into white light and absorbs into you through your crown. And think my teacher's body, speech, and mind, Vajrasattva's body, speech, and mind, and my own body, speech, and mind are the same thing. So next, Rinpoche would recommend to meditate on the emptiness of 3 circles. In emptiness, there is no I, the creator of negative karma. There is no action of creating negative karma. And there is no negative karma created. So at whatever level you understand emptiness, just place your mind there for a moment. You can think that all phenomena are as empty. They do not exist from their own side. You can also think that the way things appear to me may not necessarily be the way they actually exist. So let's just dedicate all the merit, all the positive energy you've created doing this purification to all living beings, and think, may all the virtuous karma I've created from doing this practice ripen as my enlightenment for the sake of sentient beings as quickly as possible. And so if you have in your practice, if you have some teachers, maybe His Holiness the Dalai Lama, just really make strong requests for them to live for a long time, for all of our teachers, and for particularly for Lama Zopa Rinpoche to swiftly return the unmistaken reincarnation. This is how they like to say. And then for any other teachers you have, make a strong request for them to live long. If you have Geshe-la as your teacher, or Venerable Rabina, or anybody else. In fact, maybe all the teachers to live long, no matter which tradition. Okay, everybody. Lots of love, sweet dreams. I will see you at 6:30 Pacific time. Hello, Hin. Nice to see you there. 7:30 Mountain time and 9:30 East Coast time. This is where the East Coast people get to benefit a little bit later. All right, everybody. Lots of love. Thank you for hosting. Michael, Shayla, Mary, whoever was keeping an eye on the door. Thank you very much. Lots of love, sweet dreams. And I'll see you tomorrow morning. Okay, thank you, everyone.